It's understand the tutorial. It's just a tutorial, and in today's tutorial, it happens to be our very first class course, EDU290 for the Department of Early Childhood Education. We're going to be taking teaching method. We're going to be discussing certain concepts about what it means by teaching method. If it's been said, let's jump straight into it. But just before then, if you're new to the stream, do not hesitate to smash like button, subscribe to the channel, and do also request the keynote of this course after this class, as it is highly essential to lay your hand on it as you prepare for the forthcoming exam. I'm sure you have some material with you as you comment into this class. I'm sure you pen, take note, take note as class commences. Well, also draw to my attention anything you don't understand during the course of the class. Use the comment section to make this class interesting, active, and lively. It has been said, let's jump straight into it. All right. So according to the thumbnail, we are taking EDU290, and we're going to be talking about EDU290 is a course code, and we're going to be talking about teaching methods. Okay, and EDU290, and talking about teaching method. Now, first, I'd like us to understand something. This course is targeted. This course is, all right, the course students in the Department of Early Childhood, one of their majors, in the Department of Early Childhood, this is one of their majors, and this course, the all and sundry of this course is about, all right, teaching, all right, educating children from the very young age. So we'll be talking about methods, advisable method techniques that are proven effective and converting when it comes to teaching, educating the early childhood, all right, in the early childhood phase. Are we together? So to start with tonight, we're going to be taking a quick dive into what it means. Okay, I'm going to be taking a quick dive into what it means by early childhood education, and then we'll talk about the hello, if you have your board. Then we'll talk about the teaching method. Now, before we talk about the method, before we talk about early childhood, I need to say, when we say teaching methods, have this understanding about it. Teaching methods is said to be, all right, teaching methods are said to be the features of education that have, all right, certain effects. All right, teaching methods are the method employed in educating, all right, by teacher. Different methods, like I said in our retrospective class, different method applies to different situations. All right, so the teaching methods are different methods, all right, laid down, discovered, implemented by an instructor or a teacher to achieve an expected result. All right, so now, and they also refer to as techniques. Okay, teaching methods are also referred to as techniques. All right, techniques, strategies. All right, techniques or strategies teachers employ while they teach the pupils. All right, so we have, they also refer to as techniques or strategies, all right, employed by teachers while teaching, right? While teaching, okay? So we have that as that. So now, Now that we understand what it means by teaching methods, okay, now let's talk about why certain methods are highly essential when it comes to early childhood education. So, if I want to talk about that, let's talk about what it means by early childhood education itself. Now, when we talk about childhood education, we are simply referring to the fact that this is the education a child, okay, receive in during infants. All right, education at infants, education, all right, during infancy slash infant, yeah, education, all right, during infancy. Are we together? Now, what are we saying in essence? What are we saying here in essence? We are simply referring to the fact that we are simply referring to that at birth, the child is helpless. All right, child is seen as helpless individual, and the child during this stage of their children during this stage of their life depends on others for survival. Right, education during infancy or education at infancy. All right, children are helpless at infancy, right? And they depend on others, all right? They depend on their parents, their siblings, if there are any, all right, to tell them, to help them, to guide them, to protect as well, to educate them as well. Now, what I'm trying to say here, now, children, they are helpless individuals who depend on others for survival. Now, consequently, the child has a number of developmental needs. What are we talking about here? In as much as they depend on others, they also have what we refer to as developmental needs. They must develop because definitely growth will set in. So as they grow, they need to develop certain habits. All right, they will develop certain habits, and these habits is dependent on what they consume. All right, when I say consume, both in terms of food, all right, in terms of instructions, in terms of the environment, the care, and their association, all right, people around them, okay, directly or indirectly. Now, it is very useful, all right, to develop. Now, it is very useful to the development of children, physical, emotional, social, and intellectual well-being. What are we saying here? We are saying that these developmental needs to be met. All right, it's not a matter of bargaining. It is how this can be met. So this is where early childhood education steps in. Now let's take note of this. The preschool has been found to be crucial for satisfying um, adult development. Okay, now it is very useful to develop. It is very useful to development of the children's or to the child. Wonderful, we are live again. So now, what are we trying to say? Wonderful, we are live again. So now, what are we trying to say here? That it is very useful for the development of the child's physical, emotional, and social intellectual well-being. Okay, so now we have preschool. That is a school before the main school. And we are being told here that it's very useful for the child's physical, emotional, social, and intellectual well-being. In these years, all right, this era serves as All right, the laying foundation for the overall development of the child. All right, the development of the child. All right, physical, social, emotional, yes, and intellectual well-being of the child gotten from the preschool, all right, or gotten from education in that infancy stage does go a long way, right? At this point, it is seen as all right, it is seen as laying the foundation for an overall development of the child. It is believed that early childhood education facilitates the learning that occurs in the later stage of the child. So this preschool is still under the early childhood education. And so early childhood education, it is believed that this facilitates, all right, the learning that occurs in the later stage. Facilitates the learning that occurs in the later stage of the child's life. Okay, so we have early childhood education is the education. All right, why is it so important? Why does it have so much influence? Why is that? It is the education given in an educational institution to children prior to their entering the primary school. All right, this is the entity responsible for that, which we refer to as the preschool. All right, like we refer to it already as the foundation. It happens to be the foundation for what we refer to as um, the foundation that will determine a lot about the child's life in the later stage. Okay, like we said earlier, it is the education, all right, given in an educational institution to children prior into their entering the primary school. Speaking of the early childhood education. Now, this includes we have crèche, we have nursery, we have kindergarten. All right. So we have that as that. We have that as that. Okay. Now let's take a step further. Now, for what we have here, we can say, we can say, okay, for what we have here, we can then say that the preschool is the first formal education. Okay, speaking about preschool now, preschool is niched down, all right, under what we refer to as early childhood education. Just like we have Nigeria, all right, then we have Abuja, Lagos in Nigeria. So here it is early childhood education, and under it we have preschool. Okay, so now preschool is the first formal education given to children, all right, in educational institution, all right, within the age of 3 to 5, all right. So you are expected to find students within the age of 3 to 5 in preschool, all right. So we have that. Now that we understand this, now let's begin to discuss the techniques, the strategies, the methods for teaching children in this level, all right? Teaching in early childhood education. So the first on the list is what we refer to as child-centered technique or child-centered strategy, or what you refer to as child-centered method. Okay, so the very first one we have now is child-centered, all right, method. Now this is self-explanatory. According to what it says here, it says child-centered, all right. This is not a thing of children. It is a thing of child and individual, all right. This is a thing of child, thing of an individual, okay, child-centered. Now, child-centered method is a method of teaching where the children are more active than teachers. All right, the children are more active than teachers. Now, in the classroom where child-centered approach is used, teacher is expected to know each child as an individual with his talents and difficulties. The students as individual, all right, with talent and difficulties, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, talent and difficulties. Now, you can only achieve this if, as a teacher, you are child centric. You are particular about knowing how well, not all the children, but how well individual children, all right, how well individuals are doing as a child, all right. Here, you need to understand here, probably you understand, and you are intentional as a teacher, you are deliberate about teaching a child before you can even teach your child. You understand the child's talent and the child's setback, meaning that each children or each child learns differently, and you must be able to communicate to them irrespective of their talent and their difficulties. Talent in the sense that some children learn very fast, and some has issues comprehending super fast. Just like we have, but it's not for this level, but it's something we should have an idea of. We have early adopters, late adopters, and never adopters. All right, these are people that learn quickly, learn later, learn and they forget easily. All right. So now you need to understand all this, understand their setbacks. With that, you can now strategize. Okay, this is what works for this child. So you use this method for this child. This is what okay. This child loves to, when you are being when this child is being taught, smile, play, with characters, the child learns. Some others don't even need any of that, and they learn super fast. Some needs to be scolded before they learn. All right, it all depends. All right, on individual talent and difficulty. Then we're talking about child-centered method. Okay, so we have that as that. Now, plenty of good visuals aid in current use should be displayed. Now, this child-centered method requires certain things, all right? Requirements are the use of visual displays, all right? Use of visual display. The class should be bright and colorful, okay? And interesting, okay? Class colorful, bright, interesting. And in the class, they should be mapped out areas, all right? Mapped out areas. When we say mapped out areas, in that same class, there should be areas referred to as book corner, all right? Areas for displays, areas for, all right, table and creative corner. We have discovery table. Lessons are allowed to solve certain puzzles and do their creative thinking. And we also have a creative corner. All these points at what we refer to as child-centric, child-centered method. And also, atmosphere, when it comes to this method, the atmosphere is expected to be what? Relaxed and happy. Okay? The aims of the child-centered teaching is that the child is happy at school and interested in work. All right? So we have the aim, happy, okay? The child is happy at school and to interested interested in his work. Let's put it that way. In his work. So we have that as that. The child considers himself as, all right, the child considers himself or herself a person of worth. I am acknowledged. I am being listened to. All right. He feels understood. All right. And appreciated. Okay. This child-centered method enables children to feel appreciated. It's not the thing of, oh, they all understand. No, it's the thing of, he understands, he understands. Child feels that he is understood, all right, and appreciated. Therefore, makes the child happy and the child will be eager and interested, all right, in putting in more effort in learning. Okay, are we together? So now let's continue. Now it says here that okay, so now it says here that the child has a sense of responsibility. Oh, thank you for that. The child has what we call a sense of responsibility. The child feels responsible. Okay, I think we live again. That was the thing from the service provider. It looks very nice. All right, all good. There are certain limitations to this method, to this limitation. Now, some of the limitations are it is time consuming. So we have a limitation, all right, time consuming. And that's why you see strategy because it is time consuming, all right. It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort to sit down on a child and ensure, when I say sit down, all right, to see that a child is being carried along, child is understood. You need to Okay, I think we are live again. So you need to understand individuals, know what makes them eager to learn. It takes a lot of time to achieve that. Also, you need to be very patient. All right, it takes only a patient teacher. All right, to manage such a class. All right, it takes only a patient teacher. All right, to use this method. So these are some of the limitations. All right, so we have that as that. So very quickly, let's okay, we have about 2 minutes to go. So let's quickly talk about what it means by questioning. All right, one of the main characteristics of a good teacher is the successful use of the techniques of questioning. All right, questioning, very important. One of the main characteristics of a good teacher is the success, the involvement, all right, and activity of the people throughout the lesson depend largely on the teacher's skill in formulating what we refer to as good questions. Okay, in order to what? To challenge them and stimulate their thought. Good question to what? Challenge and stimulate. It's a good thing. Oh, as a teacher, as a tutor, a professor, you have all you understand your onions, you know your onions, you have everything. You are superb at communicating. All right. As you communicate, how do you know your the use of good questioning will figure you will help you out. All right. So you want to throw in questions in between the class from time to time to be sure you are. We'll stop here for today, and in our next class, we'll take it up from questioning properly. All right. So thank you very much, everyone. I believe you'll be able to gain something in this class. Do not hesitate, all right, to send your notes after this class to the private class and prove that you have been following. Thank you, and do have a wonderful evening. Bye for now.